Hey everybody. All right. In this video, I want to talk about something that I have been asked by several people, and I just said, you know what? I'm just going to make a video about it. Okay, so if you are thinking about going to Barcelona, Barcelona is very well known, it's very popular. You may have noticed that they speak another language, all right, called Catalan. Now, if you were thinking about staying in Barcelona, you're probably wondering, okay, should I learn this language? Do I have to learn this language? Is it necessary? Well, the answer to that is yes and no. All right, guys, so I am just gonna jump right into the topic of this video, all right? As you know, that Spain has multiple languages that are native to Spain, not just Spanish, but one of them is Catalan, which is spoken in the region of Catalonia, Mallorca, which is called Mallorquin, it's a different dialect, um, Valencia, which is called Valenciano, but some people say it's not a different language, but it's not a different dialect, but that's debatable. It's, in my opinion, yes, it's the same language, but a different dialect. And some people think that Catalan is like a different dialect of Spanish. It is not. It is a completely separate language. If Spanish, Italian, and French had a threesome and somehow produced a kid, it would be Catalan. So now, if you are a tourist and you go to Barcelona, obviously you don't need to know Catalan. If you are moving to Barcelona, and let's say you don't speak Spanish, Spanish should be the number one priority. Everyone speaks Spanish. There are some rural areas where some Spanish people may not speak Spanish very well because they're so used to speaking their own separate language, like Catalan, for example. But the majority of Spain speaks Spanish. Spanish is the national language of the country. Now, in Catalonia, Catalan is a co-official language with Spanish. There are other co-official languages, but these are the main ones. Now, should you learn Catalan? It really depends on why you are living in Barcelona. So let's say you already speak Spanish and you're thinking about, okay, should I study Catalan since I'm living here? If you study Catalan, your life will be a lot easier. I'm just gonna say that. It will be easier. But it's not exactly necessary. So let me explain. If you are living in Barcelona and let's say you work remotely or you're an English teacher or you do some sort of international work or something like this, most likely you will never use Catalan. You won't need it. However, if you work in like a hospital or a job that's in that area, everyone will probably speak Catalan. Even though everyone does speak Spanish, it would be good to know Catalan in these types of cases. Another reason is if you are, let's say, going to school, going to university there, and it's not an international school, the language of instruction most likely will be in Catalan. I have a friend, she's Spanish, she's from Fuerteventura. She's a music teacher, but she told me there was a music school in Barcelona. She went to the school and everyone just spoke Catalan. The teacher spoke Catalan and she asked the teacher if she could, speak Spanish. And she said, no, if you want Spanish, you have to find another school. So she left, she found a school in southern Spain, and she went to that school. She had no problem. Something else that I have to mention is that I don't know if you watch the news, but there's a lot of political issues surrounding Catalonia. And with the culture, there are some people that want to be independent and they only want to speak Catalan, but I'll talk about that in another video. But this is something just to be aware about if you decide to travel or live in Barcelona. Not every person from Barcelona is the same, okay? I don't want to generalize, but you will find some people that For example, you speak to them in Spanish, they'll speak to you in Catalan. Or they may be upset that you are speaking to them in Spanish. Now, again, this is not everyone, but when I lived in Barcelona, I did have these experiences. I've had some people, for example, in a restaurant not want to serve me because I was speaking Spanish. I've been in the supermarket and trying to speak to the cashier in Spanish, and she replied back to me in Catalan. So that's something else to think about. There was some sort of rule passed a while ago about people having to speak Catalan even with foreigners, and there were people that are really upset about that because, I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense. You know, there's not a lot of places where you can speak Catalan outside of Spain, except for Andorra, and there are some islands, some Italian islands where I think they speak a dialect of Catalan. But if you're a foreigner, obviously the chances of you speaking Catalan are very slim. So there were some people from Catalonia that were very upset about this, thought it was very ridiculous. So be aware of the political issues if you decide to live in Barcelona. All right, so just want to emphasize that yes, learning Catalan will make your life easier in Barcelona, but if you don't speak Spanish, I'm telling you, learn Spanish first. And then if you decide to learn Catalan, go for it. So if you travel to other parts of Spain that speak Catalan, like Mallorca or Valencia, you will not have these types of issues. You can speak Spanish and you won't have these problems. But in Catalonia, it's like this. And again, it depends on the type of job. So if you are looking for work and you get hired, just try to figure out or ask what language they speak the most in the workplace, because I've talked to so many people that were foreigners, but they've lived in Barcelona for many years and they learned Catalan and they say, yeah, at work we speak only Catalan. But then I've talked to other people that work and they only speak Spanish. So again, it really depends on what you want to do. But school, if you're a student and that school is not international, probably going to be speaking Catalan. All right, so I hope I was able to answer your questions. If you have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the description box, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao, hasta luego.